morning to all of you, and I would formally like to introduce our guest, Professor Anita Rampal. Professor Anita Rampal did her PhD in physics before moving over to work full-time in education. She is presently the Dean, Faculty of Education, University of Delhi. She has been a scientist of the University Grants Commission, Fellow of the Nehru Memorial Museum and Library, and has held the Nehru Professor Chair at the University of Baroda. Madam has worked at grassroots in rural schools of India with school teachers to devise child-centered curricula, teaching learning material, and teaching strategies. More recently, she was the advisor of the new set of books for schools in India prepared under the path-breaking constructivist National Curriculum Framework 2005 of the NCERT, the apex curriculum and training body of India. She is a member of a number of high-ranking committees and consultations groups formed by the Government of India and that have been discussing on various reforms of higher education. Dr. Rampal is the Professor of Elementary and Social Education at the Department of Education, Delhi University, as I mentioned before, a member of the Executive Committee of the NCTE, that is the National Council of Educational Research and Training. Originally trained as a physicist, as we have heard, her involvement in Hoshangabad science teaching program for rural schools inspired her to move to elementary education with a focus on curriculum development and pedagogy. Her special interests include cognition and language of science, everyday mathematics and adult numeracy, policy frameworks for equity in education, science, technology, society, education, and many more. This is just a few. She has been the member of People Science Movement and has been involved in the national literacy campaigns and has served as the director of the National Literacy Resource Center. Her recent works include the co-authored public report on basic education, commonly known as Pro-OUP 1999, Numeracy Counts 1998, books in Hindi, research papers and reports, and also films documenting people's participation in literacy programs. Currently, Madam is also heading the Model Syllabi Committee of the 2-year B.Ed program. Knowing Madam as a person who is very focused, forthright in what she believes, and someone who we could relate and I could relate and learn from, especially at a few interactions with her at the Model Syllabi Committee in Delhi. So with this, Madam, again, a welcome to our institution. I would also want to introduce our manager, Father Blaise D'Souza, manager of SXIE since June 2012. Jesuit mission for the last 50 years. Father has worked for 34 years in various rural areas like Nandurbar, Dhule, Raigad, Thane, and 1 year in Ahmednagar. He has also worked for rural upliftment, social and economic health, education in the non-formal sector, for children dropout, women's empowerment programs, and last year at Ashgad for 2 ashram schools, and the assignment was at Ashgad for 2 ashram schools, the Zilla Parishad schools for 8 years. Father has also been involved in training Balwadi teachers, supplementary teacher training, adult literacy programs, etc. He has contributed a manual called as TRACE, which has helped in developing rural education. This manual is being used by the Tata Institute of Social Sciences and the Nirmala Niketan for practical work. Father has been a great support to our institution, and the area of collaboration and networking, all that Father has to say is, we can never do things alone. Sybil, you need to collaborate, you need to network and work together. And so we are thankful to our manager for being present, for being the inspiration behind today's program. And so now I spend the next few minutes in just developing a background for today's discussion that we are going to have. And so before I begin, again, I would like to address respected Dr. Anita Rampal, Dr. Surendra Kulkarni, Dr. M.N. Deshmukh, principals of various colleges, members of the Board of Studies, member of our Research and Recognition Committee, Dr. Veena Deshmukh. So on behalf, and of course, all of you teacher educators and my colleagues, on behalf of Father Blaise, our manager, the management of this institution, the non-teaching and teaching staff, we welcome each one of you to our institution. As I stand here before you to share a few thoughts on this event, I would also want to acknowledge that these thoughts have been a joint understanding of Dr. Pooja Birvatkar from ORF and myself, who have constantly interacted on this theme and purpose of this seminar along with the ORF team. And all that we share is what we had in mind before and as we planned this event. I would like to also begin with a quote taken from Justice Verma Committee's report, which begins which he quotes Socrates, and the quote goes like this: "Fellow citizens, why do you turn and scrap every stone to gather every wealth, and so little care for your children, to whom one day you must relinquish it all?" These words of ancient wisdom resonate even today in modern reality, in a world where we are caught up with consumerism and modernity within quotes. We have also seen that right through the inception of civilization, education has been considered as an act of love for our children, and it is through education that we express our concern, our love for children. We also have seen that these very thoughts, though has been conceptualized ever since civilization, has also seen and been echoed in various commission reports. We even see Justice Verma quoting the 1966 Education Commission report and saying that it was even in that report that teacher education was called on or was asked to look at or was recommended professionalization. It was teacher education as a faculty. We were asked to look at integrated programs, comprehensive colleges of education and internship, and prolonged engagement in pre-service teaching. The National Curriculum Framework 2005 brought out by the NCERT, as well as the implications to the Right to Education Act 2009 passed by the Parliament, has dominated the thinking of NCERT towards revitalizing teacher education. The NCTE undertook a major exercise for developing a new curriculum framework for teacher education, and we commonly know it as the NCFTE 2009, which is both contextual and in tune with the emerging concerns and imperatives of the fast-changing canvas of education, both nationally and globally. Now, this framework, which would be the basis of our discussion today, focuses on various aspects like context, concerns, vision for teacher education, curricular areas of initial teacher education, sampled and redesigned schemas for current teacher education programs, evaluating teacher education and developing how do we go about developing in-service teacher education, as well as professional development of teacher educators. The framework also stresses and critically reviews secondary teacher education systems and presents a vision for teacher education which is concerned with making teacher education and in turn education more liberal, humanistic, responsive to the demands of inclusive education and on a strong emphasis on non-didactic explorations. Multiculturalism, multicultural education, life skills education, which we commonly know it as, though not use that word exactly in the framework, are some of the concerns that the NCETE bring forward to each one of us. It also encourages us to look at how teacher education can be more reflective in practice. And what struck me as I read again and again, and all of us at the ORF and Xavier's Institute of Education, is a strong voice that echoes through the document, whether it is the Justice Verma Commission or the NCFTE. It is that teachers need to be critical of their social context. We need to be aware. We need to deliberately weave social justice and equity into every fabric of our practice. And I think with these thoughts that the NCFTE calls upon teacher educators, we would now be seated here being aware of it even before, even as we have studied various commissions, we have various thoughts in mind. And I think to echo some of, or bring to light some of our thoughts, I think we have more than thoughts, we have a lot of challenges as teacher educators that we face. Challenges such as delayed admissions, insufficient resources, both monetary, human and time that we say we do have. We also often complain or consider this as a major challenge, that is the deteriorating quality of inputs into our system of teacher education, the saturation of employment opportunities for our teachers, particularly in this state. And we also have various struggles as we look at these challenges, as each one of us in spirit would want to meet these vision of the NCFTE. We also have struggles as to how are we going to make our teachers, our teacher trainees and ourselves critically view the system of education. How do we make them love children? How do we help them appreciate diversity of every kind? We are struggling to adopt andragogy practices as we train our students in pedagogy. We are struggling to help our students look at knowledge that should not be considered as fixed but constructed, and to evolve as independent learners at the same time to learn constructively and collaboratively. And the list goes on. And even as these documents are placed before us, as we have read them time and time again, we can take 4 positions that I have thought of. The first position we can take is, we can look at these documents as regulatory documents that dictate practice, and so I need to do it because I am supposed to be doing it. That is the first position. Secondly, we can look at these documents and say they are divorced from practice and ground reality, and so they can be done away with, and we can ignore that. Thirdly, as practitioners in teacher education, either we can say we do not have the time nor the mind to understand all that these pages seem to speak to us, and hence we can live in a context of ignorance of its existence. And fourthly is, we can understand the spirit of the document and the relevance of these documents for our practice. And I think that we are here today with the 4th position that each one of us have taken, and we are wanting to understand and appreciate why are these documents saying these things, how do I bridge the gap between documents to my day-to-day practice, and how do I learn from each other's perceptions of these documents, And in this shared platform, we can exchange our views and learn from one another. And so, friends, before I send this stage to Dr. Anita Rampal and each one of us to talk, we are here today not to emphasize the way for implementation of the recommendations of the documents, but we are here as stakeholders in education to debate, to discuss, to critically opine them on a shared platform. We are here today to know that we can learn from one another's experience and see how we can appreciate the spirit of these documents, how we can see them in the midst of all the challenges and struggles that constantly bombard our minds, and as I have voiced them out a few minutes ago, and see how they can mean to each one of us something. We are also here with a concern that we want to see, even as NCTE recommends, a prolonged engagement of the Bachelor of Education course. What does that mean? How can it be? And what does this whole thing mean, call for each one of us to do in our own capacities? So we would now, would like to welcome our chairperson of ORF, and I think Aparna would do that, and look forward for a time together and a time of fellowship. Thank you.